Hey guys, what's up? It's Cam Gwynn, this is Gwynology, and as you can see, this is going to be the saddest video that I've made. And I was going to do this yesterday, but then I decided I wanted to make sure I had everything. I wanted to do this perfect because that's how Kobe was. He wanted to make sure everything was done perfectly, so I wanted to make sure this video was done perfectly. Um, so I wake up Sunday morning to text in a group chat from a couple of my friends. One of them said R.I.P. Kobe, and one of them said, I can't believe this is happening. And I thought they were joking. I thought they were talking about how LeBron had just beaten Kobe's scoring record. And no, that's not what they were talking about. They were talking about a helicopter crash that happened in Calabasas. And it's crazy having all the news come out and everything, that there were people on board with him, with Kobe and Kobe's daughter, and they were on their way to a basketball game. So for those of you who don't know, Kobe has 4 daughters, and one of the middle ones, her name is Gianna. They call her Gigi. She was a really good basketball player for her age. I believe she was 13 when this crash happened on Sunday, and she had a lot of potential, a lot of just a lot of stuff going for her future. She was going to be a baller. Sue Bird recognized her. Kobe knew it. Like everyone knew that she was going to do something with her basketball skills. She was really good, and Kobe had even said that at her age he wasn't as good as she is. So either way, so the crash ended up containing 9 people. Everyone passed, unfortunately. The pilot, his name was Ari Zubian. He had flown, this was Kobe's chopper. He had flown it quite a few times. He was known to be the pilot for him. And they were on their way to a travel basketball game with Sarah Chester and Peyton Chester as well on board. Peyton, was, I believe, one of Gigi's teammates on her basketball team, and they were getting ready to go to the game. Sarah was Peyton's mom. And there was Christina Mauser, who was, and I hope I'm saying everyone's name right. If I don't, I really apologize. But she was Gigi's basketball coach for her school that she went to, and she was also going to attend the game. Along with them was John Altobelli and Carrie and Alyssa Altobelli, and I believe Alyssa was the daughter who was also on Gigi's team, and John and Carrie were her parents, and based off reports that I've been seeing about that family, they also had 2 other kids that weren't on the plane who now don't have parents or a sister. They're gone. So those were all the people, not including Gianna and Kobe, that were in the crash and passed. So obviously, like this is insane. This took a huge toll on a lot of people's lives, not just the fact that Kobe and Gigi passed, but everyone else. You have to just keep your mind on the families involved, because this is terrible, especially for the Altobelli family, who now has 2 kids that don't have parents. Like I just said, like it's heartbreaking to think about, because one instance they're there and they're just going to a basketball game, a routine thing that they always do, and it ended up being the ultimate tragedy. So obviously the sports world was super sad losing Kobe. Kobe was an iconic basketball player, one of the greatest to ever play basketball, and he was a winner. He was a champion, 5-time NBA champion. He won an MVP. I think he had 2 finals MVPs. 17-time All-Star, spent 20 seasons with the Lakers. But losing Kobe, it's not just about the basketball accomplishments that Kobe had. Kobe was like the epitome of hard work. Like, there were so many instances, whether I was playing soccer, whether I was playing baseball, whatever sport I was playing, where Kobe would be brought up. And it wasn't even for basketball stuff. Like for soccer, it was, I remember one time we were being talked to by our coach about once we start getting tired and once we start feeling fatigued, we need to open up that different box that just gets us into that mentality to keep going, because that's what Kobe did. Kobe would get hurt and still continue playing. He played games with broken fingers. He tore his Achilles and then shot 2 free throws. And he was insane. And there's even quotes from Kobe where he said, I know I was talented, but I worked like somebody who wasn't talented. And that just shows his work ethic, shows how hard he worked. And even stories with Jay Williams talking about how he would be at the gym an hour before he would show up to the gym, and then he would stay hours after he would leave. And the whole reason Kobe was doing that was because he saw how hard he was working and he wanted to work harder. That's a mentality thing that, like, not a lot of people have, that Kobe had, that we all should aspire to have. You know, the work ethic and everything that he had, what he stood for as a person, just knowing that you can be great at something, but if you don't put in the work, is it really worth it? And man, it's crazy still thinking about it. Like, it's hard to even think about. Like, yeah, I didn't really play basketball a whole lot and everything, but Kobe was still, like, I still viewed him as an icon. I still viewed him as the type of mentality that I wanted to have and that I would push to have. And a lot of people look at him that way, even like some of my soccer friends that don't pay attention to basketball and everything, because he had he had a hold of the whole sports world, and he supported the WNBA heavy. He supported soccer heavy. He knew how to speak multiple different languages. He spoke Spanish. He spoke Slovakian. He just, so many different assets that he had. He was such a smart man. And even to think, like, once his basketball career was over, his career wasn't over. That was just part of his legacy, and it kept continuing even after that. He won an Academy Award for a short film. He does work, he did that detail show for ESPN Plus where he would break down plays. He coached his daughters. He donated to schools. He opened up gyms. He had a whole basketball league for inner city kids that couldn't afford to be in leagues. He did so much for communities, for basketball players, for just people in general. Like, he could have retired and sat back and just relaxed and did his thing, but no, he's such a go-getter, was such a go-getter that he couldn't stop. He couldn't sit still. He was on to the next project no matter what. And that's what makes this loss so hard. Not all the basketball accomplishments he had, even though there are many, many basketball accomplishments that he had. He, he in a way helped shape the generation of basketball that was coming up in the more recent years. Now we're starting to get into years where some of these newer players saw him when they were like young. Like, all these players are around my age, so we started watching him play and really strive and win when we were in elementary school and middle school, and we watched this man just transcend basketball. Man, he was larger than basketball. And like, even to the point where, even though I was not a Lakers fan, like, I was a die-hard Pistons fan, and I remember watching the 2004 championship just thinking, how can we, the Pistons, beat this man? Because it wasn't beating the Lakers. No, it was beating Kobe. You needed to beat Kobe. And once we did, it was amazing. Like, I felt great the fact that we did it. We were able to overcome that obstacle, the best player in the league at that moment, and we beat him. And we got that championship. That's legendary right there. If you're being rooted against and it's not because they hate you, it's because they know how good you are. It's like everyone with LeBron when he would go to the finals, they would root against him because they wanted to see him really earn it. And I felt the Pistons really earned it when they beat Kobe because Kobe was that player. He had won, was it 3 straight in 2000, 2001, and 2002 with Shaq, and then went again without Shaq, and then the Pistons were able to beat him. But then he ended up winning again in 09 and 2010 also. He was a winner, man. He was that man that would set the tone for a whole group and would have people rally around him. And that's more of what we lost. We lost somebody who was a great example of how to be a hard worker, not just somebody who was an amazing basketball player. And that's the part that sucks the most. And the whole thing with losing Gigi also, it's tough. Obviously, my heart goes out to the families that were involved with this because it wasn't just 2 great basketball players we lost. It was almost a whole family and great people. There were a couple coaches on board. Man, it's difficult. So I think Jay Williams was the one who said it, and he said it best. Go hug somebody today, someone you love. Make sure they know, because you never know when something can go wrong like that. Like, I could have easily went to work this morning and gotten in a car accident and not have done this video. Like, it really puts your life into perspective, like, thinking that, because we had just heard from Kobe, like, literally, like, 12, or not even 12 hours before this happened, congratulating LeBron on beating his scoring record, or his scoring, passing him on the all-time scoring list. I said scoring 17 times right there. That was crazy. But it's crazy. He was congratulating LeBron on passing him on the all-time scoring list, and then the next morning he was gone. And the NBA responded greatly to this. Like, obviously, when you lose an NBA star like Kobe, the whole league's going to be shook up, because a lot of these players were watching him when they were younger. A few of these players played against him when he was in his prime. And I feel like the way the NBA handled everything, with the way they started every game, whoever won the tip would get a 24-second shot clock violation to honor his number, and then the other team would do the same, and then they would get going. I thought that was amazing. I love that all the players are around the league are changing their number, whether they were number 8 or number 24. Spencer Dinwiddie is changing his number. I just got notification earlier that Markieff Morris of the Pistons is number 8 currently. He's changing to 88. It's cool to see this the whole association, the NBA, take this moment of mourning, and they're doing it right. They are informally retiring Kobe's jersey. The Mavericks did actually retire his jersey, so now nobody can wear 24, but everyone else in the league is following suit. Nobody wants to wear 24 or 8 anymore, out of respect for Kobe, because nobody else can live up to what those numbers mean now. So super sad. But as a YouTube video, I know I have to do this, and it sucks that I have to do this right now, but if you like this video, give me a like. If you like any of my videos, subscribe. Just go ahead and do it. If there's something you want me to talk about, whether it's a movie, TV show, whatever, music, some other news I missed, feel free to comment on it. I will be talking about the Big Ten tomorrow, because I feel like I haven't talked about it, college basketball at all this season, really. So that's what we're going to do. Thank you guys for listening. Cam Gwynn. We'll talk to you later.